Tamoguna, Rajoguna, Satvik Gunam, Suddha Satvik. We all are constantly taking various lives. It is not practical, it's not possible, it's not, we cannot conclude and say in this field I came in with this life, these bones and molecules, and then I'm finishing and then I go back. But if there is one life, then why would it not be possible to have multiples of those again and again? So we are constantly evolving, we're constantly taking. Of course, Bhagavad Gita is talking about all the time reincarnation. Many, many Western masters, including Michael Newton, talks about so many soul levels, soul evolution, soul levels, baby soul, infant soul, baby soul, young soul, mature soul, old soul, transcendental soul, infinite soul. So we are constantly taking, reincarnating. For a few lifetimes, the only thing that matters is our body. How nicely I'm enjoying. These are the lives of Kumbhakarna. The only thing we worry about is our body, whether I'm living in the body, enjoying what food I'm eating today, how many hours of sleep I got some more muscles here. Nothing else matters. The lifetimes go very naive. But that's another type of pleasure. So we are here going through this, a set of lifetimes. We keep coming here for experience. Ultimately, it's about experience. Consciousness is infinity. From the infinity, from Paramatma comes the Parabrahma, Paramatma, Jivatma. There are three things. So from the infinity comes our individualization. From the individualization comes each lifetime. Sri Krishna says in Bhagavad Gita, we take many, many lifetimes before we understand ourselves. So there are few lifetimes we are here just for the body. We enjoy the body. They are all thamoguna. Thamoguna is just the laziness, they just want to be just relaxed, just want to be with your body, physical body. This is the great body, ease it. Morning to night, the whole effort goes towards earning, eating, gaining something, eat, sleep, and then again wake up and then do the same thing again. Then a few lifetimes, then we get bored of this and then we go into Rajoguna and say, how do I control this person? How do I get power? How do people make people to come and then be at my feet? How do I make them serve me? How do I dominate? How do I influence? How do I gain those extra pleasures and pleasures of life by overpowering others? I don't know, by being beyond the body. I want to wear nice jewelry. I want to wear beautiful clothes. I want to change clothes again and again. This is where a whole set of lifetimes go on. We find all of us in different states of existence. How do you explain? Otherwise, a 5-year-old sings like Lata Mangeshkar, while we struggle to even hold sa pa sa. How do we hold struggle to hold that for a few days, few weeks, few months? Whereas some are singing very naturally at 5, 6, 7 years old. So there is a whole set of lifetimes we evolve in the Rajoguna stage. Now, is Rajoguna stage where we suffer a lot. We give suffering to others, we suffer a lot in return. We have so much pain, so much pleasure, but there is so much pain. So we keep on doing, and then we start questioning ourselves, okay, how do I live happily? How do I avoid this suffering? This is where the concept of yoga parampara starts. Beautiful concept Patriji talked about long ago. Yoga parampara, it starts at that point. A set of lifetimes in the body, a set of lifetimes on just Rajoguna is always wanting to control, enjoy, get these triple degrees, fourth degree, 7 degrees. They are doing it, I want to do this. Comparisons. And then we just continue to go on living, and then there is so much suffering. So finally say, what is the way I can avoid suffering? That question comes into us. And so we enter into this yoga parampara. So yoga parampara, we keep hearing these words, karma yogam, jnana yogam, bhakti yoga, dhyana yoga, raj yoga. We heard all these four. He is a karma yogi. Karma yoga, bhakti yoga, dhyana yoga, raj yoga, dhyana yoga, and jnana, knowledge, wisdom yoga. Now, these are not exclusive to each other. In part of evolution, we go through all of them. Now, bhakti yoga, swaswarupana sandhanam, bhakti ritya abhiyate. Bhakti yoga is to be, it became fashionable. It became that, okay, I just pray this God, I pray you, I pray you, I pray you. It just became praying, but bhakti is Swaswarupanasandhanam. Recognize that I am. What am I? Understand what I am. And then Anusandhanam with me, Swaswarupa, my real Swarupa. If you understand yourself, who you are, and then Anusandhan with it, then you become one with it. That's what true bhakti is. Bhakti ritya abhidiyate. So the bhakti yoga, where it became merely just praying, just worshipping somebody else, thinking somebody else is great, never existed. It required us to be merged into ourselves. When Swami Prabhupada talked about Bhakti Yoga, it is Krishna consciousness is to become that consciousness that you are as Krishna. Very, very fraction of people who go into that consciousness when they are praying. They're becoming one with themselves. Otherwise, it's been merely a lip service, an external thing, something outside. So Bhakti Yoga in the yogas is not there. It's really Karma Yoga, Jnana Yoga, and Raj Yoga, three. So when we start questioning that how do I end my suffering, then we get into this phase, Karma Yoga. First we have a Karma Yoga 1. So in Karma Yoga 1, we start listening, okay, don't do harm to others. First stage is we start talking about don't harm others. What is this chicken has done? What do these people have done? Why do you want to harm them? Because suffering is, you recognize that suffering is coming because when you harm somebody, they're going to come back in turn. So that's stage 1 in this Karma Yoga, where we start questioning ourselves, how do I overcome suffering? The Karma Yoga, there are 3-4 stages. So first one, it says, don't suffer, don't harm others. We hear this, don't harm others. Okay, it's okay, you don't have to do good, but don't harm others. Don't harm other beings. Few lifetimes we go on in just in understanding this, that okay, we have to stop harming others. Then goes the second one, do good to others, help others, give money, give clothes, or they don't have food, okay, give annadana, or they are very, very poor looking, so let me give them money so that they can get educated, vidyadana, vastradana. So no harm to others into a next stage where we start helping others, help others. But we have a lot of expectation. I am helping you, so tomorrow you please come and help me again. Don't you have that much of gratitude? I gave you so much money. You don't even have a minimum courtesy, common sense. So we have expectation. So then we move to third stage in Karma Yoga, where we are trying to do things without any expectation. Karmanyevadikaraste mafalesu kadashana. We don't have a right to expect the result. Karmanyevadikaraste. Yes, of course, we have a right to do the karma. Mafaleshu kadachana. So we hear this, and then we do these actions without any expectation. We try to implement it without expectation. Very tough. Very tough to not have expectation unless we recognize that we're all one. But in that stage, there's no meditation yet. In that stage, only karma yoga. You're only say no, don't harm to do good to others. To now you try to do good without expectation because you know that expectation is causing suffering again and again. Then you go into the fourth stage of karma yoga. In the karma yoga 1, before meditation, before understanding yoga, then we are in this fourth stage where we are doing as a witness. We've been told, be sakshi both. Do without as if you're doing. Don't assume that you are doing. Something else is doing. You are mere an instrument. So there are a lot of people who do service, temple services. I'm only an instrument. I'm just making it happen. Things are happening through me. I'm only an instrument. They've not personally understood, but they've understood that I need to do karma without being my I in there. So they try to practice it. But it's still good. It removes a lot of suffering. So when we start questioning how do I avoid suffering, we get into this karma yoga, yoga parampara, karma yoga 1, where we go through these each stage by stage, one by one. And each stage we go through some lives. Some lifetimes go in just an understanding. We know that we don't want to do harm others, but then our nature is there that when it comes to it, then we got to harm others. We're going to grab everything that is there with us. There's always a gap between knowing and doing. So a few lifetimes go. So we are doing nishkama karma where we are not there by ourselves. Is a fourth stage of karma yoga 1. But still our suffering does not end. We want to be that way, but we're not able to be that way. We still feel our ego. We are doing the karma. We are helping others. We are doing this. We are doing that. So that time we move into the next phase where is Jnana Yoga. Jnana Yoga is wisdom. Then we start listening to the nice lectures. There'll be a prayer service somewhere. There is a Gita somewhere. There is a Lalita Sahasranama somewhere. There is this thing that is happening somewhere. Somebody is reading Bhagavad Gita, so we go there. We start listening because those words soothe our mind. We start understanding. Somewhere it says, you know what, you're not the body, so why are you bothered? There is this your soul. You are more than the body. Whatever that you're experiencing is impermanent. So why attach to it? So we start hearing these things as Jnana Yoga, part one. We still haven't gotten to meditation. We only are listening. Shravanam, Mananam, Nididhyasa, Sakshatkar. Four stages in this. You know, that learning, doing, being concept we learned. So in the quest for happiness, we've gone through four stages of Karma Yoga, no meditation. We know that don't harm others, do good to others, do it without expectation, do as if you're not doing it, you're an instrument. There are four levels where we reduce our suffering in each of those levels. Then it's not still enough. So we start listening and saying, how much ever I do, I'm still having suffering. So then we start listening to this concept that I'm not the body, I'm the soul. That whatever is creation is because of me. My thoughts and feelings are creating all the time my reality. Shravanam. So we listen to that. A few lifetimes just go on listening, listening, listening. We all know that. Sometimes we finish many of these lifetimes, compress many of the learning in a single lifetime, but sometimes it takes a lot of lifetimes. We know that. And we hear 100 times a lecture that we are not the body, we are the soul. But when it comes to an action, we always behave as if we are the body, right? It takes time. So Shravanam, we have to listen to it, again and again. Shravanam and Mananam. Shravanam is listened from somebody. You go to this, oh, okay, so there's a nice meditation class. Let me go there. People say, I started meditation long ago, but in between the break came. So now again, I'm back to meditation. Why is that? It is because of this. We're in the stage where Shravanam, so we listen in. And Mananam, we keep repeating. We talk about it to a friend. When there is a death and you go to your friend's place and say, you know what? Why are you crying? Death is anyway going to come. And then there is again a birth is there. Jatasya dhrom mrityuho dhrom janma mritasya. So who is going to be born, whoever is born must die, or whoever is dying must born again. So we tell people when we go to a funeral place, and when we go to a place where people are suffering and say, it is okay. Whatever is gone, but it is impermanent anyway, but you can recreate it. We have the knowledge and then we don't have the experience, but we still want to tell others, help others. Shravanam, Mananam. So we keep repeating it, we keep remembering it, we keep talking about it. A Pandit is talking constantly, Manipuraka. Outside is money, inside is empty. But it's constantly talking, but at least it gives upasamana, it gives that, that consolation, it gives that relief to many people who are suffering. So in Jnana Yoga, Shravanam, Mananam, so we keep repeating, we keep talking about it. We may implement when it comes to our situation, we might fail miserably. Death comes into our family, we know that we should not cry, but we will absolutely cry because we don't have the physical real experience. But at least we're able to give words to others. We remember that. From an initial denial of a death, then slowly we accept it. There are all those phases are there in between. But these words come handy at that time. So Shravanam, Mananam, Nididhyasa. Nididhyasa is where you're doing part of it. So we start implementing it. Okay, I'm not the body. What does it mean? Okay, so I should be comfortably, freely, I should be able to go and then do this Himalaya adventure. I should be okay. I can muster some courage. I'm okay. I'll be taken care. A Pandit and a Vedanta scholar are implementing it in their terms. Okay, everything is happening as the way it is perfectly. I'll do my bit, but it is okay if things don't happen. So we try to intellectually understand and then try to implement it. Jnana Yoga Part 1, where we understand the higher truths but intellectually, don't have a practical experience yet. And as a result, when it comes to the real challenges, we break down, we miss out, we blame others continuously. We recognize that we create our reality. Yadbhavam tadbhavati, we understood. But however, when it comes to an actual challenge, we say it's still because of you. So in Jnana Yogam, Shravanam, Mananam, Nididhyasa, Shakshi Booth, Shakshatkar. So be a witness. We try to be a witness to what's happening. We still as body, we still understand that we are body. We know that we are not the body is what we theoretically understand. And then we try to be a witness in whatever that we are seeing it. So then enters the Raja Yoga. At that point, then we start understanding. We become yogi. From Pandits to Vedant, we become yogi. So we understand, okay, meditation. There is something that is helping us realize that I'm not the body, I'm the soul. So there is something here. So we enter into Raja Yoga, that is Dhyan, meditation. First stage of meditation, we are observing our breath, trying to find that, that subtle hold on to this breath so that we can actually slowly become empty. So as we observe and then practice, like the practice in guitar, initial days it takes so much time. We know that. We've seen many people give up right at that stage. A lifetime I go away, just trying to find meditation go away. We hear this. I've been searching for meditation, I just not could find one. And finally, I think I arrived. So we can into Raja Yoga, where then we are into this meditation, where we want to experience practically what we learned in Jnana Yoga, part one. That I'm not the body, I've created my reality. So how do we do it? So meditation then is helping us get into it. Then we have these 3-4 stages in meditation. First, we are trying to find our breath. We this subtle observation of the breath. Stop analyzing the breath. And then we go into that emptiness. We start experiencing emptiness around. That no body, no thing state. Then we start receiving that energy. We have these 7 bodies. Annamaya Kosha, Pranamaya Kosha, Manomaya Kosha, Vijnanamaya Kosha. We're going to go through all the bodies. We're going to go through the experience of every body. We've done so much harm to so many animals, so many people in the past. We're going to start experiencing lots of pain, lots of all kinds of uneasiness, all kinds of fears, all kinds of emotions get pulled out in meditation. We get scared. But then we're going to sit through it. That's the stage. That's the second, third stage. As we empty ourselves, we are going through this various energy experiences, various pains in the body. Then slowly opens up into this fourth stage of the meditation, which is our third eye. We start opening up. We start seeing beautiful pictures, visions, colors. We start conversing with spirits. The other day when someone said, I conversed with Prem Kumar. He's living in a beautiful world. So when we come into Raja Yoga, we start experiencing things practically for ourselves. I'm not the body, I'm the soul. Okay, I have merged into this light. I feel myself to be like this light. I feel everybody is part of me. I became this micro, that quanta, and then I started traveling into my body. And then I see everything is there. It is microcosm to macrocosm, it's all the same. So practically we start experiencing through Raja Yoga, through meditation, that yes, whatever I've learned is that I am no longer the body, I am the soul, I am this intelligence, I am this infinite energy, consciousness. So once we have this understanding, yoga chitta vritti nirodha, this is yoga. We get into the real yoga, yoga chitta vritti nirodha. With this understanding, now we go back. Now we go back into Jnana Yoga part 2, not Karma Yoga, Jnana Yoga part 2. Now we are surprised. Ascharyavat pashyati, Ascharyavat vadati, Ascharyavat sunoti. So we are in meditation. We are seeing some of these strange experiences. Oh, so this person actually went through the tunnel, and then it's on the other side. What is there? I just thought about $1 million business, and then it is manifesting right now. I don't know how it's happening. This lockdown, people are losing jobs, but I just got it. My mother is suffering from this thing for such a long time. Suddenly it just went away. We start observing things. We start talking about it, not as a body now, but as a consciousness. Our understanding is now we are this consciousness. Body is only a state of it. So in Jnana Yoga part 2, after meditation, we still have again the Shravanam, Mananam, Nididhyasa, and Sakshi both. All 4 are there, but this time we are looking ourselves as something larger than the body. In the second stage of Jnana Yoga, we are more courageous. When someone says, hey, you must stop non-vegetarianism, immediately we take that action. You get this message in the meditation that you must go to this nearby place and then teach meditation to them. You take an action immediately, you go there because you have a practical experience. You no longer doubt it. It's not a mere intellectual understanding. We gain so much strength after Raja Yoga when you get into this Jnana Yoga, where you are practically experiencing it, your soul nature, then we gain so much strength. We gain courage. We have earning job of lakhs of rupees, but then we gain courage and say, if there is something, I want to let consciousness explore. So you taking action to maybe change the job, design the job, if that's not what gives you happiness. So in Jnana Yoga part 2, After Raja, after meditation, now you are making action, meaningful action. You're able to take confidently because you recognize you're no longer this body. You no longer have to worry about your survival. Survival becomes, it's not an issue anymore. You're so confident that you can exist. Your business will continue if that is the right thing for you or that is the right thing that you have to do. So in Jnana Yoga Part 2, we are understanding the greater truths. We are nididhyasa. We are constantly practicing them. And then being a witness. Now we are truly a witness. We're not in a hurry. No hurry, no worry. We don't waste time. We do it in the best, perfect possible way. Little time is there, we meditate. Little time is there, we go into silence. So from there comes the final stage, dear friends, Karma Yoga Part 2, where the only thing we know is that whatever that we experiencing, we must be taught to everybody. We must teach this message that I am that consciousness, I'm not the body, that our happiness is truly inside of us, that we create our reality all the time. So we start talking about this truth at once. It is our Karma Yoga Part 2, where we go in and say, this is it. We talk about our third eye experience. We talk about how things happen to us automatically. We take that book, Mind to Matter, and then talk about it actively. How Dawson Church has written beautifully, synthesizing so many worldwide scientific as well as events into how consciousness is always collapsing in a way that people want it. So in Yoga Parampara, from Tamo Guna to Rajoguna stage, as you evolve, where the question starts, how do I become happy? So then we go into Karma Yoga Part 1, where we don't do harm to others, start doing good to others, do good without expectation. And then 4 is do it as if you are just an instrument. Then I go into Jnana Yoga, where we start recognizing that we are beyond the body. We start learning, we start listening to them. Shravanam, Maranam, Nididhyasa, and Sakshatkar. So the 4 stages we go through, few lifetimes to go through that. We don't have practical experience, but at least we are talking about it. We're trying to be that. It's very tough to be Sakshatkar without being what it means to be. But then we try it. And then we go into Raja Yoga, we learn meditation. The moment we learn meditation, we start experiencing what we learned in Jnana Yoga is true. Practical experience is there. With that understanding, the law of yoga comes into our life, and then we start living life totally differently. Now our whole world is about exploring ourselves. Jnana Yoga too, explore ourselves as the soul, as this consciousness, not as body. And then we go through that again and again and again. And then parallelly, we start adopting to Karma Yoga too, where we do the true karma. We stop complaining. We start recognizing that I can learn any amount from everybody. We stop harming. It instantaneously is known to us that, okay, there is no way I can stop the progress of any other being. We have no right to kill. We have no right to interfere. We recognize the freedom. We recognize this free will being our nature of each of us. And so we allow others to exist the way they are. We avoid influencing. So we get into a true karma yoga. We become to the true mindfulness. It helps to understand, dear friends, why the nature of reality exists the way it is, why some people may be in some level, why some are so nasty, some are so this way, that way. We recognize that we are also evolved from these stages. So nobody is right, nobody is wrong. Everybody is evolving at their own stage. We have no right to judge others. There's no injustice and tragedy. We recognize it. What we learn in Jnana Yoga, we learn practically through meditation. And so we recognize that, okay, injustice and tragedy is here. Yes, we are empathetic. We are sympathetic to people, situations, environment. In a given physical place and time, if we are there, we're going to help them. Yes, we need to help them. But we don't take that as the end of life. So we are all in the process of practicing meditation, dear friends, are moved into the Raja Yoga, into this Jnana Yoga too, to Karma Yoga. That's where we are all into. It's up to us how much we want to practice, how much we want to learn, how much I want to compress this understanding. The truth is there deep inside you, tells you that, hey, you must give time to teach meditation. You must go and then do on this Sunday to that place and then visit Pyramid Valley and do meditation for yourself. But comes the Sunday, we say, okay, let's do it 3 weeks later, next month. There's always a gap. That's what we're talking. There is always a gap between the knowing versus doing. And that's where we spend a lifetime, potentially. Spend a few years to months to years to lifetimes. But that is okay. But we recognize the nature. We recognize that we're constantly moving towards a higher vision and a purpose. And we implement it. So thank you, dear friends. It's wonderful to have participated in these 5 days of practice. More practice, more deepening understanding of everything that we're learning.